The excitement is too much.
We're pre-rolling.
Warning. This program is intended for adults of legal drinking age. Whiskey is consumed and discussed. The intent is to educate our palates on the differences of whiskey flavors and not an intent to get drunk. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, everybody. My name's Andrew Pierce, and you know what? I fucking love whiskey. As always, I'm joined with my co-host here, Mr. Joseph Limbaugh.
That is me. And I also fucking love whiskey. And we have a delightful guest today. We're very excited to have Chef Ray on the show. Chef Ray Glenn. And thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, Chef Ray, that's me. I don't quite effing love whiskey, but I'm here. I'm all about it though.
So there's room for you to fucking love whiskey by the end of the show, if
I
possible.
expect to be won over.
Okay.
Right.
I like your optimism.
We accept that challenge.
Okay, let's go.
We do. If you haven't seen the show before, down in the corner there, you can see the approximate times that we're going to have each whiskey on. So if you're on the YouTube and watching this after the fact, you can zip ahead. If you're watching this live on Twitch right now, well, just sit back, relax, type in the chat what you're drinking, and engage. So without further ado, why don't we start on our first whiskey here? It's a Kilchoman Machir Bay. It is batch number 3. It is from Islay, 46% alcohol, 85% ex-bourbon, and then the rest is ex-sherry casks. Very exciting. And that's 15% is ex-sherry cask, if I can do my math correctly.
So is it in 2 consecutive casks, or is it like a blend of different?
They generally blend 2 different. They marry 2 different casks
because it's the same distillery, so it's a marriage, not a blend.
Right. So just 85% of the casks that went into it were ex-bourbon, and 15% were ex-sherry, whatever that worked out. So
this smells really good. This might be my favorite whiskey already. It smells really good.
A little barnyard in there.
I think it smells like a fancy candy store, like a fancy candy store, like a upscale. I always say candy store, but there's different types of candy stores. This is like a fancy rustic candy store in like a small town.
I can see that. I can see that because I was getting ready to say a very, very pretty perfume.
Yeah.
A floral perfume, and I could see it in the countryside.
Yeah, it does seem like I feel like I'm out somewhere where there's a lot of natural wildflowers, and you can smell, but multiple types. Like it's like a tutti frutti of wildflowers, you know.
And the sweetness is definitely there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We're going in.
Julie Marie says I like. Oh, I guess so. Okay.
Oh, that is nice. Wow. Okay, you guys already getting me. You're getting me.
Okay, good.
It's a good start.
I can taste the woody, oaky. I can taste it. Okay.
Yeah, there's that. Now this is slightly peated, right? There's a little bit of that.
I believe, Kilchoman.
It's like it's just a bit of it is in there. I mean,
what is peated?
Peated.
Peated. Oh, got it.
Yes. Yeah. So they've dried the barley with some amount of peat in there. They might also use natural gas or something else nowadays. Because I don't think this is not as heavily peated as other.
It's just like a little bit of peat.
Teas. For me, this is like I've helped my father downstairs in the wood shop all day, and we've been cutting a lot of wood, and now I'm kind of sweaty and sweeping up the sawdust after.
Oh my God, it does smell like sawdust.
Sawdust. Okay, I can smell the sawdust. I can smell that. That's awesome.
Jilly Marie in the chat says I tend to have a lot of national gas, but that's different, I think, than natural gas.
I think so.
I have international gas myself, but
interesting.
Mine is kind of localized. It's kind of,
localized gas.
Yeah, I guess I really have a problem if I have international gas.
I think so.
I should probably go to the doctor.
Far ranging.
Definitely go to a specialist.
Yeah, this is
So-
this is my favorite whiskey. I think maybe it's just because we haven't done the show in a while, but I'm out of the gate, really liking this.
It's delicate in the palate.
Yeah.
It is a very subtle kind of caress of the tongue. My cat's curled up on my tongue. That's what's happened here.
Yeah, this is really nice.
Especially for like a low percentage whiskey. I don't know. It's just like normally it's the higher percentages is where you get some of those really interesting things, but this is very complicated and delicate. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in there.
I really enjoy the floral. I get a lot of floral and sweetness in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, one thing that we're terrible at, or at least I am, is pairing whiskey with food. Can you think of something that might go well with this kind of flavor? I don't want to put you on the spot, Ray.
I
Sorry.
feel like you put her on the spot.
I think you can't throw that question out there and be like, well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Okay, I did. I did. I'm
normally normally meant, for heavier meats, right? But a good, like this will be good, I think, with a really good roasted chicken or even a good pork chop.
I feel like it might be good with like a whitefish, if it was like, I don't know, maybe not.
I mean, I feel like it would be too overpowering for the whitefish,
That's true, yeah.
Right? You kind of want something that has a lot more texture and a lot more flavor forwardness that'll stand up and actually balance sipping this at the same time. So I could see a good Cajun chicken, blackened chicken with this. You definitely want something with strong flavors that'll go along with this, but won't clash too much.
I can already see the show today is going to make me hungry. I can see that.
So is that the plan? We're going out to eat after this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are we meeting? Where are we meeting in the chat? Let's send out
some sort of Cajun kitchen. I think that would be that right now. Now I'm all for the blackened stuff.
Or we can just go find a tasting menu and we can just bring all of these and we'll just pair it at a restaurant that's got it full on.
It won't look askance at us as we walk in with 4 bottles of whiskey. Yeah, no, we're just coming in. It's all fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. It's all good. We're fine. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, we're experts. I mean, she's a chef. All right.
And he effing loves whiskey, so we know what we're doing.
Come on. Here's our cards. We fucking love whiskey.
No one's gonna argue.
No one's gonna argue. I don't think so.
You know what? I am going to put some water in this.
You can put water in?
We'll see what this does. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put water in. Where's my Islay water? I'm going to put some Islay water in.
So are you just doing 1 drop or are you?
Yeah, just start with 1 drop.
We should also check in with Thad and see what he has to say about this whiskey.
Yeah. What do you think, Thad? Oh, darn it.
I mean, I haven't tried it with water yet. But I like this. It's honestly been a while since the first whiskey that we try on the show where I'm like, okay, this is actually really solid. But for me on the nose, I definitely agree with the floral notes with that. But for me, I was also getting some fresh tire burnout. So new tires that have been freshly burnt on the pavement.
Oh wow.
Some sauteed onions, and a very weird note for me was something that is akin to tuna melts. Not like the fishiness of the tuna net melt, but like the creaminess of it itself.
I can see the cream.
Kind of more like a white bechamel sauce that you've made and you're pouring over some meat or something. But anyways, going on to the taste.
He's just showing off now. With his knowledge of specific flavors and smells.
That's interesting.
No, I'm sorry.
Say that because I was thinking with that Cajun chicken breast, we can do like that beurre blanc or a white cream sauce on top to go with that. And that would tie them all together with the flavors. Joseph is so hungry.
So I'm so hungry, and we just started. Like I'm gonna be by the end of the show. I'm gonna be crying. I'm so hungry. Thad, were you saying something else? There was something else you were adding. Was it?
Yeah, and so for the taste for me, it was very like hot and char, but it was bubbly and alive at the same time. So like there's definitely for me like some burnt like charcoal in there. But past that for me, there was definitely some more like refreshing flavors like cucumbers that have been sitting in distilled white vinegar with a hint of dill tossed in them. Like and I enjoy this finish. It's not too astringent for me, and it lasts for quite a long time. So
right,
yeah.
With water, the charcoal comes out in the finish right at the beginning. It is like I've chewed on a chunk of charcoal.
It got hotter for me. It got spicier with water.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Isn't it weird that happens sometimes? Like I'm always surprised by that. Like I put water in it, and now it's like biting me more, or it's less gentle. Like
Dad, you hit the nail on the head too with that fresh burnt rubber. Like I caught it as you were saying. I'm like, oh my God, that's what that is. Okay.
I think we'll have some more of that going forward. Likely,
I think we will. Yes,
looking at this lineup, because that's a very in the flavor profile of peat. That's generally the sort of thing you use, like a burning boots or like a rubber, like a tire, or like the other day we had that Aultmore, and I was like, it's like a barbecued piece of a tire, like this delicately barbecued and encrusted with brown sugar. And if tire was the most delicious thing you've ever had, because that's
fillet of tire.
Fillet of tire. Yeah.
It's the choicest cut of tire from the inner part of the tire, not the edge where the wire binding is. It's inside, the soft, the gentle, well marbled.
It's very unctuous.
It's Wagyu tire. It's been fed, out in the field.
Been massaged daily. Yes.
Right. Yes. This isn't your Goodyear brand.
No.
It's like a Porsche tire or something from a fancy
Pirelli
car
or something.
Something Pirelli. That's it. Yeah.
Unrelated to almost anything, but you said bechamel earlier. In my house growing up, we always called that beach camel sauce, and I don't know why.
Okay.
No, I think I know. But what is bechamel sauce? Like, I think I know what it is, but what is it?
Butter, eggs.
Butter, cream.
Nope, cream.
That's pretty much it.
Oh wow, okay.
You take a roux, and then you mix in cream.
Yeah, and flour.
So it's a roux. What is technically a roux? Isn't that like flour that's been like browned, or like
not necessarily browned? So a roux is just cooked flour and butter to create equal parts to create a sauce, and it actually is the base of many sauces. So it's the base of the bechamel. It's the base of a lot of our the 5 mother sauces. Obviously, it's the base of a good gumbo. Most gumbos are cooked, and there's a blonde roux, there's a dark blonde roux, there's a dark roux, almost chocolatey, which is where you get your.
That sounds great. I like all the roux.
The base for
I gotta go get. I'm gonna order some food right now. I'm sorry.
Because I will sometimes make a roux, but I was like, what is the technical definition of it? I guess it's just about butter and flour that have been cooked in advance.
Welcome to I fucking love roux, everybody.
One of the things I do, I'll make with an almond flour. I'll make a roux with an almond flour, for pasta sauces. That's like my secret pasta sauce at home.
Absolutely. So, are you gluten free? Is that why you choose almond flour?
No, I just love it when it's when almond is toasted. It has such a great flavor to it, and it's it's a nice base for it gives it a nice, I don't know, whatever that flavor is, that Maillard reaction or whatever flavor.
Maillard, yeah. What type of pasta sauces or pasta dishes do you make with the almond flour? Because that's a great.
It's usually just marinara. I'll usually put some olive oil and almond flour, and then brown that up, and then But.
Very cool.
Well, that's our first whiskey, y'all.
That was it. We should have our second whiskey.
We should go to our second whiskey. Why not? Hey, this is super fun here. This is the
this is exciting.
this right thing? Yeah, this is the Ardbeg Hypernova.
There's a
Okay.
spaceman on the label
There is kind of
getting sucked into a hypernova.
into some sort
Really,
of.
it looks like he's getting sucked into a portal or a black hole. That's not really a nova,
Yeah. Is
but
it focusing okay there? There we go.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay, this is light as well.
So I did read it. It's supposed to be a very peated Ardbeg, kind of upping the
so
peat.
have you not had hypernova before?
I have. They have Supernova, which is a
Right.
Canadian release that they put out a while back. It's one of the ones up there. I don't know which one. And they put out 2 of those, I believe, Supernovas, and this is the Hypernova going further.
So is this pretty new, or has it been out for a while?
This is pretty new. I think this might be travel retail exclusive, meaning you can only find it in airports.
Right.
But Thad will correct me in a moment if I've got that wrong. Anyway, so we know we love Ardbeg. So
yeah, we do love Ardbeg. Wow, there's that tire.
Initially, I get very citrusy, almost peach.
Wow.
Bubbly, almost like a champagne effect on my nose.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get berry too.
Huh. Like a dark berry, a blackberry or something, or a currant?
Yeah, like a black currant. It does kind of smell like black currant.
I get a currant in there.
But to me, this is like a hybrid of like a tire and pork that has been roasted in like a honey, like a berry honey glaze.
Joseph is no longer in. He's all on food right now. I think he's going to order something with pork tonight. Pork chop.
I might.
A porchetta, lechon.
It's one of the things I love about living in Los Angeles is like I can order any type of food I want or go to like there's so much like you want Korean food, there's Korean food, you want, you want soul food, there's soul food, you want, it's all here.
And Tipsy Asparagus in the chat says it's not a travel retail exclusive. You can actually pick it up at K&L and other venues.
Oh man, I might want to get this. I really like the nose so far. I do love Ardbeg,
This is my favorite whiskey. I'm just gonna say it.
Yep, I get that rubber tire there.
Yeah, it's in there.
And not just rubber tire, but I don't know if you remember if you had a sleeping bag and you went camping and had like a foam rubber mattress underneath the sleeping bag. Yes. This is this for me.
Or the smell of those inflatable pool toys when you first open the box before you inflate it.
That's the smell of that plastic. Yes, it sure is.
Yeah.
That's it. The freshly opened.
Hydrocarbons.
It is. Yeah. And one day I'll be oil. Gosh darn it.
All right, let's taste this.
All right.
Syrupy too. There's a syrup there.
This is my favorite whiskey. 100%. Oh my God. Oh, that just goes and goes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just goes and goes and goes.
That's a finish. That is a finish.
I feel like I don't need to drink any more whiskey today because I'm going to be tasting this for the rest of the day. Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's a good one. Wow.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to put water in this.
Oh
man, I fucking whiskey.
I think you missed a word between.
What?
I think you missed a word too. At least it didn't come through on the microphone if you said it.
What did it bleep me out?
You forgot the love.
Yeah, I missed the love in the sentence I heard.
They're both true. Both sentences are true.
No. That doesn't sound
They're mutually independent.
They're mutually independent and 100% accurate in both counts.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, it's got, we don't normally look at this, but the legs are really nice too. It just has a nice little. Look at that.
I could actually see
it's like a stained glass window. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I could actually see having this with some ribs, some really good ribs.
I'm just salivating.
I love ribs. I mean, I do anyway because of the whiskey, but now it's like doubly salivating. What is your favorite food? Is that like a horrible question to ask a chef? But I feel like what's your favorite food?
I think every chef has their own answer. But early on in my career, it would have been a different answer. But I went through early training to be able to study and replicate international foods from all over the world, authentic cuisine. So I was tasked with learning 13 different cuisines from all over the world, whether it was Pan-Asian, whether it was anywhere in Europe, any country in Africa, different regions of all over the world. And I had to authenticate it, meaning I had to source products that were true to the original and learn how to make it and then bring it to the restaurant. So at the end of the day, like when I don't feel well, pho is my comfort food.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely, pho is my comfort food. But I love curries, and it just depends on what I'm inspired by. Recently, I've been really inspired by Nigerian food and fufu, and it is such an amazing experience because at the end of the day, you realize everybody has a chicken stew. Everybody, and then when you go all over the world, everybody has a chicken and rice, different version. Almost everybody has a type of fried chicken. So I love the fact that we are all so similar, even though the world tries to pit us as so different. So it just depends on what season of life I'm in. I just freaking love food.
So do I.
Yeah. Thad, what are you tasting?
No, unfortunately, I haven't gotten around to tasting it yet. I'm still nosing it.
Yeah, the nose is.
It's a nice nose.
What are you smelling? What are you getting?
For me, I definitely agree with y'all. Like, I really do enjoy, the whole like I'm getting like slow cooked pork on it. I definitely agree with the honey, bacon. More pork notes. Outside of the pork notes, I got a little bit of shoe polish in there. I got some thyme, rosemary butter, smoked paprika, and two weird ones was like if you've ever walked into an indoor pool, that smell of chlorine in the air, like that chemical smell in the air, on that nose. And then I don't know if you all have ever like had these candies called high chew candies, but this reminds me of them a little bit.
I can see that. It's the fruity. That's the fruity that I'm tasting, and the creamy at the same time.
I've never. Where do you find high chew candies? Are those still around? Or are those like from your childhood? Or
no. Typically, I get them at like a lot of Oriental restaurants. Like those are the candies that I'm able to find and pick up.
You've never had a high chew, Joseph? Really?
I don't think so.
I'm going to send some to you. Really?
Oh. Okay.
So think of Starburst, just a creamy version of Starburst.
All right, that sounds great.
Very yummy. As a matter of fact, I have a bunch of them on my desk. That's one of the things I give out to my staff when we have our meetings.
Now I've just berated you. Have a little high chew. Yeah.
This is your reward for listening to the feedback.
Yeah.
Feel better.
This makes it all better.
Yeah, it's like it's already 5:24, but I don't want to go on from this. This is such a good whiskey. Like this is like double favorite. Can we do that? Double favorite whiskey? This is my double favorite whiskey.
I feel like that will find a way.
I like this. This is a good one.
So going back to like when you had to source ingredients that were authentic to the region, were you able to find those locally, or would you have to get canned versions of things? And
so one of the great things about our company is we have contacts all over. And so, our contacts reach out to contacts. And then obviously you do the old school hoof it, right? You find the community that food is, and you go into the grocery stores in that community, and generally you'll find it. And then if I can't find it in bulk, if it's something that we want to bring to our cafe, because, you know, we serve at the time, especially at that time I was at Blizzard Entertainment. At that time we were serving about 2,000 to 2,500 people for lunch. So sometimes we couldn't source enough product because, you know, not that many people are in a lot of our communities, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I would have to find something comparable as close as possible, which unfortunately compromised the full integrity of the dish, but it kind of sort of. But my favorite thing to do was whenever we were able to replicate it as much as possible, we would have, when people would read, especially from that region, oh, wait, you're making biryani? How do you know about Indian biryani? And so they would come, or we would make saag paneer, or we would make something from all over. And so what they would do is they would send, you know, the foot soldiers, a couple people out and say, okay, go and go to the restaurant, taste it, and let us know. And then the text would go out, and 15 minutes later, the line is out the door. So it's been interesting because, especially when I finally learned how to make saag paneer, I had a gentleman actually wait for to ask our maitre d' and ask who made this and where did they get the ingredients. And so she brings me out. She was like, a gentleman wants to speak to you. And usually that's not, you know,
it's not a good sign.
Not a good sign. So I was a little hesitant and I was prepared to, you know, get chewed out and get embarrassed. But he looked at me so seriously and he said, where did you get the saag? And I was like, oh, well, you know, it took us a while to source it. And he said, where'd you get the recipe? And I said, it took me, you know, I had to pore over the internet to find like the authentic sites and not the Americanized versions, right? And he said, it tastes just like my mom. When are you making it again?
That's like the best compliment.
It was it moved me. And to see like the seriousness in his face, like it wasn't joy. It was like, I haven't been home and I don't know how long. And this just took me home. That was the effect.
It's just like that scene in Ratatouille. It's exactly.
I was just going to say, you actually
the critic
Ratatouille.
Yeah,
that was your life. That was your story.
That scene.
It was a real thing. It was a real experience, and I think from that moment on, it helped me realize, like, when we're making these foods with these names, you know, with these titles, it's my responsibility to make sure I make it as authentic as possible to the people where it's, you know, originated from, because everybody knows most of the food in California is Americanized, right? That's just what comes with the territory. But whenever we can make it authentic to the people, it really is a badge of honor. I feel like people are seen, you know, and at the end of the day, when people are seen, they feel validated. And that's all we want. Everybody.
And that food in that regard is like a little hug from home as well.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the emotional connection to it. It's like, oh, my mom made it just like this. That's just phenomenal.
It was.
I'm crying now because of that. It's so great.
It was a pivotal moment for me. And so that made me understand the responsibility. Like, it's not just good food, you know?
Yeah.
Most any chef can make good food, but when you can make it authentic, then you're taking it to a whole nother level.
Not to change the subject from that because that's so wonderful, but I did put water in this, and I think it takes water very nicely. The nose opened up nicely. The flavor remains. It didn't really hit it very hard. Hi, Mo. And it's yeah. I fucking love whiskey. I don't know. It's
I'm almost there. You're skeptical?
I'm skeptical that Andrew fucking loves whiskey.
Oh, okay. I was going to say this is your double favorite, so you can't say you're skeptical.
I'm not skeptical of this. I'm just skeptical of Andrew. He always says he fucking loves whiskey. I'm skeptical.
Fair enough. The man doth protest too much. Is that the?
That's it. That's it.
You don't have to say you fucking love whiskey to fucking love it. So. Okay, now I'm done doubting him. I believe it. Look at that face.
This is
it's
good.
Really special. Yeah,
this is really good.
It makes it buttery for me.
Yeah,
a little more buttery. Yeah.
Yeah.
A kind of ghee-ness comes out.
Yeah,
in the
ghee-ness.
There you go.
I believe it's ghee-ness, not
oh.
ghee-ness.
Oh, I hate to do this. We're at 5:30. We gotta move on from this.
We gotta
I'm
move forward.
sorry.
Darn it.
There's that Canadian sorry right there.
Sorry. SMWS, a Bowmore right here. Wish you were there, question mark. Distilled 2004, one of 208 bottles they got from this second filled barrel, 58% from Islay. And we know that this independent bottler does nice things with their casks, gets good casks. So Bowmore is on Islay. It's kind of the old granddad of Islay. It seems like, you know, it's the very dignified, mature, not super well known, but definitely well known. And a moderate peat.
Wow.
And have you had this before, Andrew?
Oh my gosh. No, I think I opened it just for the show. Yeah, I opened it just for
wow.
Oh my God. I love this. My favorite whiskey right away.
That's like yellow cake batter. That's what that smells like to me. Like the
cake batter. Yeah.
And someone took seawater and battered it in butter and deep fried it. That's this. Deep fried seawater.
It's like I'm not getting any peat for me. Like maybe because I just had the Ardbeg, but like this is just like pure cake batter for me right now.
Very sweet. Very sweet.
Yeah, I remember like my mom would give me like here's the, you know, the spoon or whatever, you can lick it off. And I was like, why are we cooking this? Why don't we just eat all the batter? Like it's so much better.
Wait, it gets better? Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Now I'm getting like some turpentine or.
I get a perfume on this one too. It's very, very floral.
Yeah.
I get vanilla.
Let me check.
Okay, okay. It's wafting over. Okay.
And Zoom has added so many features lately. It's really advanced. Oh, you're already tasting it.
I did.
You just went ahead and tasted it. Look at you. All right, I'll taste it.
Oh my God, this is my favorite whiskey. Oh, wow. I mean, the process of the previous two was very similar to the process of this, and yet this is such a distinct.
I get apple. Oh.
Yeah, I could see that.
Ooh, apple and honey. Ooh.
The taste reminds me of when I was younger, I used to play role-playing games with little metal figurines, little lead figurines, and we would paint them. This kind of reminds me of the smell of the paint or the primer.
Oh wow. Okay. At the end, yeah, I get that.
But also if while I'm painting them, I'm like eating like, you know, like
lead?
apples, like lead? No, I'm eating like apples dipped in like, you know, like caramel maybe.
I could actually I would have this with a dessert. Like I would reduce this and pour it over like a vanilla ice cream with like a baked apple.
Yes.
Wow.
Right? Turn this into a syrup.
Oh man.
Oh, that would be amazing. Hold on. Let me write that down.
What house you're gonna do? What I build with it?
A baked apple with the crumb, with the brown sugar crumble. Okay, Andrew. I see you helping me with recipes.
It's just a shame I don't come to the cafe anymore to get lunch. So.
Oh, that would be good.
Oh, work will be so happy. Wow. Oh my
What house would I build with it? I would build like a candy house from like the witch's candy house. Oh. Except for it should be like a pretty witch, and the house would be more baked goods than candy, I think.
There you go. The gingerbread house.
Yeah, it'd be like gingerbread, but not gingerbread, but like sort of pastries that are cakes that are approaching candies, but not quite there yet. Like, you know.
Oh, this is beautiful.
This is my favorite whiskey. Hey, Bodie Cooper.
Yeah, this is definitely my favorite whiskey. I do like the Ardbeg so far has been my favorite in this lineup, though.
I think this is I might prefer this above it just because the Ardbeg was great. It wasn't completely unexpected. This kind of is unexpected for me.
Sure. Yeah. This does have some more interesting like flavors from outside of the flavor profile that you would think of as like a whiskey, or a scotch.
It's like LSD.
It is like LSD.
I'll have to take your word for that.
I mean, I don't know either, really, but
I know.
Just sip your whiskey, Joseph.
Ray, you said that you had an interesting origin story for how you became a chef.
Yes.
And I feel this is the right moment to unpack that.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So I've only been doing this for 8 years. And so I won't say how old I was when I started. I'm 8.
16, obviously, please.
16, obviously, just 8 years ago. But originally I was volunteering at a homeless shelter. And I was a caregiver at the time, happy in my life. And the kitchen manager at the time, he had contracted it was in Orange County, some very successful chefs and caterers in the area to come and cook food, gourmet meals from scratch for the residents at the homeless shelter. And I realized when I was volunteering, a lot of people wanted to cook, and then no one wanted to wash dishes. So I was like, I'm here to volunteer. I'll wash dishes. So I'm in there washing dishes, and then one day, none of the volunteers showed up for the chef. And so he pulls me out the dish pit and he goes, "Hey, I need you to help me to cook." And I'm like, okay, whatever, nobody's here. And at the time, there were about 200 people in the homeless shelter that we were to feed. So I knew that normally there's a crew of at least 7 to 9 people making dinner for these people, and it's only he and I, and it's 12 o'clock and dinner starts at 5.
Oh, so, no.
Talk about restaurant impossible. So I had no clue on what like culinary terms were or anything, but my mother taught me how to cook growing up, just basics. I tell people that my mother was a foodie before foodies were popular, like in the 80s. Like she was watching PBS with Ming Tsai and Yan Can Cook. And if you guys don't know, that's old school. And Julia Child, and she was watching them, and she had every gadget a person could have before, it became popular. So he was just like, okay, I need you to do this. And I was like, okay, show me how and I'll do it. And I knew we had to work fast. Well, we made it in time, got dinner out, and then I had to go wash dishes. And at the end, he was like, I don't know, I want you to help me next time I come. I don't want you washing dishes. So the next time I came to volunteer, the kitchen manager was like, you're not washing dishes anymore, you're cooking. And I'm like, okay, whatever you guys need me to do, whatever, I'm not going to stick to anything. And so from then on, I would help the chefs cook. And so I learned from an Italian chef how to make pesto from scratch, how to make risotto from scratch, how to make how to make gnocchi from scratch, how to make pasta from scratch, how to make a real marinara. Look at Joseph.
I want to know what you made for that first meal that was done by 5. What did you make?
Remember, this was back in 2015, 2014. I don't remember what the first meal was, but eventually the same chef, he came up to me like 7 months later. He was like, you have a real talent for this. I don't know what you do in your private life, but you should consider going into culinary. And he helped me write a resume because I had no clue what to write. I submitted it online at the time. It was Craigslist where you sent your resumes. There was no Indeed, there was no LinkedIn. Yeah. And then from there, I got all of these hits for kitchen managers and restaurant leads and executive chef. And I went to him and I'm like, I guess I know a lot. You guys taught me a lot. He was like, now you need to figure out what your identity is going to be. And so I was like, well, you guys spoiled me because we've been cooking from scratch this whole time. Like we get raw Brussels sprouts and we had to figure out how to make magic with raw Brussels sprouts before they go bad, because it was a homeless shelter. We got a lot of donations. We had to figure out what to do with a ton of green beans. Like we had to figure out what to do with like 140 pounds of chicken. 200, 300, 400 pounds of chicken. What are we going to do with this? And we had to create meals that didn't seem like the same thing out of chicken.
Yeah.
And so they taught
chicken and rice, chicken and rice, chicken and rice. Yeah.
from all over the world.
But from all over the world. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And being able to do that, I got a job with Bon Appetit as a temp cook and rose in the ranks. And now I'm executive chef at DreamWorks.
That's a great story.
I did not.
Which is a fantastic.
Yeah, the chat agrees. Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us. That's
What does the chat say? I can't see the chat.
They said this is an epic story, and that was Bodie Cooper. And Mo says yes, wonderful story. And Bodie Cooper says improvised chefery.
Yes, exactly. That
it is, yeah.
Improvised chefery.
I do like, because like I was saying, I don't know if it was before the show or during the show. We just have some stuff in your house. It's like, oh, this is going to go bad. So what can I make out of it? You know,
right.
I think that's always the most fun, or you come up with some really cool stuff when that happens, right?
Right, because you hear the Mission Impossible music counting down because you know what you have to eat.
Dun, 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 dun,
right, especially when you're broke. It becomes a struggle
now
because the challenge is I don't want to waste this food because I don't have any more money to spend.
Right.
So it has to be good.
My most improvised meal was, and this is going to sound terrible, but I came home and the cleaning person that was in my house had left the freezer door open. And so everything in the freezer had thawed. And so it was like, well, that's what I'm eating tonight because it's all thawed.
Wow.
And I can't remember what it was, but it was like kale and blueberries and just like nothing that I think went together, but I made it work.
What did you make?
I can't, I just, some sort of weird salad. I think I blanched the kale and threw that on top of, I don't even remember.
Yeah, I used to get like imperfect food deliveries, and then sometimes they would just put weird stuff in there, you know, and that was always interesting because I was like, well, I never like done anything with bok choy before, but let's see what to do with it, you know, or whatever you get.
That's one thing I like about Bon Appetit is we also get imperfect foods through a lot of our vendors. And so unfortunately, California is a very aesthetic state. So if it doesn't look perfect, then it can't be good, right?
Right.
But a lot of the times those imperfect looking are so right and so flavorful and so ready that we are able to purchase at a reduced, not a premium price, but food comes out so good you would think it was the premium selections.
Yeah.
I mean, if the carrot's bent, it doesn't taste any worse. If the pepper has an extra node, it's fine. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Plus, you're gonna chop it up anyway. So what does it matter?
You won't know what the original form was.
Yeah. There's a question: is it harder now that DreamWorks gives you what you want without the constraint of whatever gets donated?
What did he say?
He said, "Is it harder now that DreamWorks gives you what you want without the constraint of whatever gets donated?"
Well, we don't get anything donated at DreamWorks. Actually, my experience was from a homeless shelter.
Right. I think he's saying that like without the constraint of you must make it from this, because I feel like sometimes like our art is inspired by constraints, you know, right? Like it's like you have to fit within this box. Like, you know, it's like that old thing of write a song, that's hard. But write a song about a woman in a blue dress. Now I can write a song.
Yeah. There's inspiration there. So it's even obviously it's better because I have carte blanche over whatever I want within my budget. But then that makes it a little bit more even more refined, because how do I make, like I said, again, chicken is probably the cheapest thing, but how do I make really amazing food? So we recently did a coq au vin with chicken breast for about 500 people, 700 people. But it was so good. It was so unctuous and so rich and so deep. I was like, okay, we're doing our thug thizzle in here with some.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry again.
Yeah. Mo says rutabagas. What can we do? Rutabagas.
Oh, matzo ball soup. So we just made matzo ball soup on Friday, and we had parsnips and rutabaga in it, and it was so good.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that sounds great. Where it is really 5:45, I will mention.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. We have to move forward yet. We'll wait, but yeah, let's.
But yeah, Thad, what do you think? What do you think, Thad?
That is.
Andrew already added water.
I think that was a lovely, inspiring story. And I agree with all y'all. Like, I love it when you just look in the shelf and you just say, like, what can I make with this? Like, some of my best meals have been like, either I can't go shopping or I don't want to go shopping. So let's go.
Yeah.
But as far as the whiskey goes, I'm gonna say no with water on this one.
I'm gonna say no with water.
It didn't open it up more. It just kind of doled it down a bit for me. So
yeah,
I agree.
It was just boring. But without water, on the nose for me, I definitely got some hard candy, something around like Jolly Ranchers in there. Maybe like the watermelon flavor or something like there. Like it's not overpowering, but it's like a very hard sugar. In there. And then there was something like super savory in there, like a red sauce, but not but not like spaghetti sauce, but like a nice slow cooked like red sauce, like
a roast beef.
Yeah, something
with tomato.
Like that.
I think it's like an arrabbiata sauce.
Arrabbiata.
That's it. That I cannot say it, but that's the one I was thinking of.
Chef Ray said it. I can't say it either.
I think Ray,
it's got like a bite to it. Like I love that sauce, but
what is it?
Arrabbiata is spicy.
Arrabbiata. Okay, I've never known how to say it.
Yeah. And then some dryness in the nose there for like kind of like walking through a hayfield or like unleavened bread crackers. So like table water crackers or matzah. But like that definitely comes through.
It is Passover, I guess.
True. Yeah, as far as the taste goes, it was very light and fluffy for me, almost like a cake. Lemony, and I definitely agree with like the apple and honey. But for me, it was more like an apple cinnamon pie.
Right.
But like fresh, not store-bought pastry, but homemade pastry,
like a grandma pie.
Yeah,
like it's sitting in the window cooling, wafting in the wind.
Yeah, like you're floating when you're smelling it, and you're like, you food off the ground.
How are we not eating right
ready to leave us?
Nah, I can wait till the last whiskey.
And well, it is that time. So speaking of the last whiskey, here we go.
Look how pretty! Look at that! Look how pretty it is
from Aultmore. Look at the color of this sucker. This spent 9 years in a sherry butt. This is how many did they get out of it? It doesn't say. One of it doesn't say how many bottles they got out. I don't see it here anyway. 59.8%. So it's this is going to be a little spicy perhaps. So here we go. This is bottle 585 out of 631 bottles they got out of the sherry butt, 750 ml. Wow. Just the color is just
oh my god. Yeah, this really, it has that licorice you sometimes get, like that anise or licorice.
I get the anise. I also get nail polish remover.
I can see that.
Yeah.
A little acetone sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
But it's a chocolate flavored nail polish remover.
It is. Yeah. It is chocolate with the anise. Definitely the anise is strong.
Yeah, like a dark chocolate, but there's a little bit of cherry in there, I think, too. Like even a cordial, like a dark chocolate cordial.
I can see that.
I can see that. I can smell it. I can smell the chocolate and the cherry.
I fucking love whiskey.
I know. This is
crazy. So I could sit in this nose for a long time.
Yeah. Bowie, you want to come say hi? Come say hi.
Hi, Bowie.
Hi, Kitty. No, he's gonna let
no.
Oh,
did you?
Really rich, spicy. I get orange too.
Orange.
Orange zest.
My dad is yelling at me right now. Why are you drinking the lacquer? Don't drink the lacquer.
Lacquer.
Forbidden lacquer. Like, is it crazy if I say blood orange? I don't want to just like be like, but I feel like
I can see blood orange. It's
blood
not.
orange has like a kind of a deeper orange flavor to me. Like it's more
It's
and
not a bright mandarin. Yes, it is a
yeah.
deep.
Oh my gosh. This is my favorite whiskey, y'all.
There's maple in there too. You know, after my second, I catch some maple.
Yeah. Maple or molasses or
molasses. It's molasses. That's it. It's blackstrap molasses.
Blackstrap.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a great place to end the journey. And like it was, I feel like there's a really, once again, there's a really good like series of places we hit along this flavor journey.
Yeah, a lot of it is down to random.org, who gets to select from the whiskey cabinet which whiskeys we're going to taste. So, you know, random.org, maybe they're a sponsor. Random.org, we got your number, buddy.
What makes molasses blackstrap? Isn't it just is it a type of process or is it like a brand name?
What's the brand?
Yeah,
brand name.
It's a brand.
Oh my goodness.
How many types of molasses are there? I feel like you don't see that often in modern, like, you know, circles. Like the Little Rascals were like always eating it out of a bowl, but
and my mother made like a brown bread with molasses that was so fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know of many uses for molasses. Except
Your
for whiskey
sauce,
descriptions.
your barbecue sauce has molasses in it. Brown sugar.
Yeah, this also smells really much like brown sugar. Or like a crumble with like the brown sugar on top, like a, you know.
Well, the crumble has the brown sugar in it.
Yeah. But it's like that like, you know, it's on the top, it's like the crumbly
caramel
part, that, you know.
Yep, there are notes of caramel in this too.
Or like a upside down pineapple cake, but just the top part of the, you know, after they flip it, that's the top. It starts on the bottom, but then we flip it. It's what makes it upside down pineapple cake, right?
I'm not following.
I just wanted to clarify because I said the top of the cake, but it's the bottom of the cake, really. That's all. I'm
totally. It starts out on the bottom, and then you flip it after it's cooked.
Yes,
so
that was like on my birthday. That was like my favorite cake for a while. My mom would always make me upside down pineapple cake.
And so you had a moment just now. You had a complete.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and you put the whipped cream on top, and then you have the caramelized brown sugar that was in the bottom of the pan, and the whipped cream, and that was like there's Bowie. Okay, Bowie. All right, he's passing by. He's going out. He's
Bowie did a drive-by.
He did. He did a drive-by. He's going to go sit on the windowsill. Now I'm probably really blown out.
You're very blown out. There you go.
All right.
The more it sits, the sweeter it gets.
Yeah.
The more it sits to aerate, you know.
I think these have all been my favorite whiskey because this is also my favorite whiskey.
I think so. It's my favorite whiskey.
Joseph, what's your first favorite?
My first favorite of forever?
No, of these four.
Oh, which one do I like the best of these four? I think the Ardbeg. That was my favorite one. Then the Bowmore, and then this one, and then
the Kilchoman.
Kilchoman. But that would probably be my list if I had to list them.
I probably like the Kilchoman and then the Aultmore. This one.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, those are the two that are less peaty and a little bit more sweet, I think.
And which kind of girl.
Yeah, sweet girl. You're a sweet girl, right?
Yeah. What's your favorite dessert? What's your favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert?
Yeah.
I am a good old-fashioned peach cobbler and ice cream.
All right.
And I actually like a caramel drizzle, and then I like a bourbon infused whipped cream on top.
All right. Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay.
Like that is a complete, like, indulgent, my favorite, like sit by myself and like not a little slice. Like I don't want anybody around to see me.
You want a quarter of the pie?
No, I want the whole pie.
I'm
getting ready to get down on this.
Okay.
All right.
my PC answer is tiramisu. I love a really well-made tiramisu. And recently I did an event where we did I did a tiramisu granata where I did an iced espresso. So I froze the espresso and scraped it to where it's like really fluffy, like a slushy. And so I layered it for like a parfait. And it was layers with the sweet mascarpone and the rum infused ladyfingers with that fluffy, light, icy espresso, sweetened espresso. And I layered it and put a little ladyfinger on top in a shot glass. It is so refreshing, and it's such a different take on a tiramisu. It's fun. So
I ask me that question, Joseph. That's my favorite dessert. Whatever that was, that is now my favorite dessert.
What Chef Ray said is your favorite dessert. All right.
Yep. Holy cow. That sounds really good.
Yeah, it does.
That's the fun thing about being a chef. And it's not necessarily like the clinical version of how do I turn this on its head, but it's okay, I've seen this a million times. How do I make it my own? Or, out of necessity, how do I simplify it and serve it to like 900 people?
Right.
Because tiramisu naturally is a very expensive dessert. Mascarpone cheese is not cheap, Ladyfingers, you can't find that necessarily in bulk. So how do I make this to where the masses can enjoy it? So that's one thing I love about my job. I get to figure out how to bring to the masses something that is universally loved or even locally loved, but still keep the integrity of the dish.
It's like a problem solving or like a puzzle sort of, like, that's really cool. Like to be able to multiply it, like that's, it involves like math and creativity. And it's like a riddle.
Science, because, you with the math, as the volumes increase, you don't want to compromise the integrity of flavor, right? But you still want everybody to experience something that you hold so dearly to your heart or is a tradition. So how do I do that en masse? So I love that it works with my ADHD brain. It's a problem.
Yeah, you get focused on it. I bet you'd be good in escape rooms.
I am. I pick up on things like squirrel, and people are like, that's nothing. And I'm like, but is it though? But is it nothing?
Because there's like 5 squirrels in the room, and I think that might be something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So great. Well, I can speak from experience though, just in terms of like having the dishes that you prepared at work was just amazing. And I really appreciated every single meal I got there. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Give Chloe a treat, by the way.
Thaddeus, we haven't heard from you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man.
What's going on?
Sorry. I really enjoy this whiskey. It is delightful and amazing. And I don't think I've ever been disappointed by an Aultmore whiskey ever in my life. So if you see them in the wild, they're probably pretty good. But as far as this whiskey goes, for me on the nose, I definitely got some slow stewed apples and pears. And then in there, like you have some like cloves, maybe a little bit of nutmeg. It's a very like late fall, wintry, just like dessert nose for me. I definitely agree with the anise and licorice in there. And then past all that, there was like a hint of some cedar planks. As far as the taste goes, it was very deep and velvety for me, which I guess is kind of like chocolate for most people. And hints of coca nibs, because it was like little bites of bitterness, but like not like bad bitterness.
Dark chocolate.
And then don't know if you all have ever had rhubarb pie before, but this reminds me of rhubarb pie that my grandmother made. And some cherries.
Awesome. I love Thad's descriptions. It's so great. Like I get to like revisit it when he's talking. I love to like taste it while he's doing that, because then it's like it's like those out. It's like it's exponentially like more stuff, It's really
definitely
great.
Elevates your experience while Thad is talking. You're like, oh, that's what that is.
Yeah. Thad should have a job of just like talking to people about the whiskey that they're tasting while he's tasting it, because I think he'd be really good at that.
The entire time off camera.
Sure.
Thad's
mean,
very
sommelier.
handsome. He's a very handsome man. So I don't think
sommelier. Yeah.
He's a man of mystery. You have to.
He's a man of mystery.
it is. Yeah. The voice, and his voice is so resonant and deep as well. It does kind of add to all of that. Yeah.
He comes in so mysteriously. So this is what I'm getting.
Yeah. It's deep and melodious and melodious.
Right.
Melodious?
Melodious. Melodious. Thank you.
Melodious. It's melodious. Melodious?
Hey, have you tried whiskey? It makes you pronounce words differently.
Pronounce.
Yeah, pronounce words differently.
I believe it's pronuncify is what you're
pronuncify things.
When you
exactly,
pronuncify.
that's what it is.
Joseph, or is it pronuncification?
Pronuncification. I think that's
pronuncification. I'm sorry. You're right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I differize to you. I let. Yes. I concedify that point.
Oh no, the time
is where the show generally.
Yeah, it's off the rails at this point. There's no rhyme nor reason. Thank you so much for being on the show, Ray. It was just a delight. When you stopped by the booth and tried the whiskey, I had no idea you even liked it. And then when you did, I was like, oh, I think this is super great to have a chef on and actually talk about the flavors that are here. So thank you for agreeing to be part of the show. Really, really appreciate that.
Absolutely. I appreciate the invitation. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. I always love any kind of way I can inform my profession. That way I can go back and purchase a couple of these wines and go into the lab and do some tinkering, like that baked apple crumble with the Ardmore. So I'm excited about definitely doing that, so I can bring that as a dessert to DreamWorks.
Right. And I don't want to, speak for anyone else, but if you need tasters, I think, Thad, Joseph, and I will willing, absolutely be willing. Yeah.
I'll be your sous chef. I'll do whatever you want. I'll chop vegetables. I'll mix sauce, whatever you need.
Okay, is this being recorded? Because Joseph said whatever I want.
It is being recorded.
Oh wow, okay.
Is what I just want that on record.
I did say that.
I did hear that. Yeah. I did hear that.
When he's hungry, he makes very, very rash offers.
Don't we all?
That's true. That's true. But thank you. I appreciate the invitation. This was so much fun. It was wonderful meeting you, Joseph. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
So that was all very positive, and I hate to bring it down to like a serious note at this point, because it is it has been a very, very fun hour.
Yes, it has.
But it comes down to a point, is that we were trying to do science here, and in order to do science, we need to really investigate and get to the core of someone's experience with whiskey. So
we got to ask you a real question right now.
Yeah, Joseph has a question, I think.
It's a real question, and we want you to take it seriously.
Okay.
Do you like whiskey?
I don't. Sorry. I effing love whiskey.
Those 4 words make me so happy.
I do. I really am excited to go into my kitchen and play around with different whiskeys and see what I can bring to the DreamWorks kitchen. So I just want to let DreamWorks know, on behalf of Andrew, you will be getting some new recipes coming soon.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And we're happy to come and taste them.
Yeah.
Well,
just need a dry one. We'll just need a dry one. That's all.
Yeah. That's
no
true.
problem. I can do the guest pass anytime. I'll let you know when the recipes are on the menu.
All right. Yeah.
I'm very excited by that. Thad, thank you. Bodie Cooper, Silly Jilly, Mo, Tipsy Asparagus, thank you, and you folks in the chat. Thanks everyone who's watching this on the YouTubes.
What they said.